Hello, gamers and future friends. Before my review, I'd like to talk about expectations. There is no denying expectations are set too high after amazing games come out. After an amazing game comes out, it's easy to compare the next game in the genre to it. This leads for lower reviews on games due to expectations being too high. I'm sure everyone can relate to this, whether it's Hollow Knight for Metroidvanias, any FromSoft game for Souls-like, Inside for side-scrollers, or Hades for roguelites, to name a few. When I played through the game that's being reviewed today, I was bummed out that it never felt the same as Inside. But once I did some digging and learned about the developers, instead of comparing it to Inside, I shifted over to a better comparison, being amazed at what indie developers with teams that consist of small groups can do. So without further ado, here is my review of One Last Breath. One Last Breath is an Inside replica, closer of a replica than I would say for other major games in this genre. To name a few of my personal favorites, Inmost, Inside, Gris, The Master's People, Planet of Lana, Somerville, and Stella. These are all games with sort of no combat, no action of any kind, side-scroller with a world filled with questions, leaving you to explore through to find answers. I personally love these types of games. They have a special place in my heart. When it comes out, I just have to play it. So this brings us to One Last Breath. It is very well done. Similar to the games listed, you careen through a world as this plant creature looking to revive the plant life that has been destroyed by too much development. The world is filled with rabid creatures that will kill you if they spot you. There are really only two kinds I noticed in my playthrough. These guys here and these guys who hang from the ceiling both require stealth to avoid. Puzzles were pretty simple, but consist of controlling roots to grow or shrink to progress to further areas, with some minor machine usage such as a conveyor belt, some elevators, some cranes. The main thing I can say about all the previous side-scroller games mentioned is they all have something that branches them out from others, and that's where One Last Breath sort of lacks. There was never a moment I thought to myself, oh, this is new. That may sound like a crushing statement, but the important thing to note is it is the first game developed, and I can see them expanding to add their own spin to the genre and making a great unique experience in the future. Collectibles worked pretty much the same way as all other side-scrollers. You will be following a path, and if you happen to deviate and suspect a separate path, oftentimes you'll find a new area with various collectibles depending on the game. Inside provided a lever used to open a final door once all were collected. One Last Breath is the same way, pulling what appears to be a power source to these machines. Once all are collected, it opens the door providing a second ending. I was able to find all without having to repeat any levels. Some could argue they prefer more of a challenge, but I was okay with this. Really only the last thing to talk about is the length. Despite being too short for most, was a pro for me. I was able to 100% it in just about 2 hours. This may seem short to most, but since these side-scrollers aren't really designed to keep you on the edge of your seat or have content that asks for hours of playtime, these short time spans for these games are much preferred to me. So in the end, I highly recommend picking up One Last Breath. It's a great start to a new upcoming development team. Playing through their game is a great way to keep them on your radar in the future. I see real potential to create a classic to the community like Inside was for most. I thank the developers for the game and look forward to more in the future. And that does it here, gamers and future friends. I hope you all have a wonderful day. This is the only dance move I have. Yeah, scan me. Scan that bottom. Look at that booty. Look at that booty right there.